Additional Maths, Algebra, Quadratic Factorising Part 1.
Factorising quadratics. Quite often we have a quadratic expression which needs to be factorised. For example, factorise x squared plus a plus b times x plus ab. Now we can expand that bracket and have x squared plus ax plus bx plus ab. First check if there are any common terms. In this case there are none. So what we do is we consider the expression as two pairs of terms. The first pair is x squared plus ax, and the second pair is plus bx plus ab. And we can factorise each of those pairs. In the first pair, x squared plus ax, x comes out as a common factor, and so it's x into x plus a. In the second pair, bx plus ab, b comes out as a common factor, and so that factorises as plus b into x plus a. Now x plus a is common to both those expressions, and so we can take that out as a common factor. So we'll have x plus b times x plus a. Now if we look at that in reverse, if we start with x plus a times x plus b, we can expand the brackets. First pair is x times x, x squared. The outer pair is x times b, which is bx. The inner pair is a times x, which is plus ax. And the last pair is a times b, which is ab. So we have x squared plus bx plus ax plus ab, which can be written as x squared plus a plus bx plus ab. Now this is useful if we want to factorise an expression of the form x squared plus a number of x's plus a number. For example, x squared plus 9x plus 14. What we're looking for is two numbers, a and b, where a plus b is the x coefficient and ab is the number on its own. So in this case, a plus b is 9 and ab is 14. So we want two numbers that add up to 9 and multiply to make 14. Well, to multiply to give 14, you can only have 1 and 14 or 2 and 7. Well, 2 and 7 add up to 9, and so a and b must be 2 and 7. Now in this case, x squared plus 9x plus 14 can then be factorised as x plus 2 times x plus 7. So if we look at another example, factorise x squared plus 2x minus 15. We want two numbers that add up to make 2 and multiply to make minus 15. Well, 15 can only be written as 1 times 15 or 3 times 5. Well, to get two numbers that add to make 2, that must be 5 and minus 3. So, x squared plus 2x minus 15 is equal to x plus 5 times x minus 3. In other words, to factorise x squared plus cx plus d, we must find two numbers, a and b, that add to give c and multiply to give d, and then the factors are x plus a times x plus b. Below is an exercise of quadratic expressions which you're asked to factorise. Pause the video and have a go at them, and then afterwards I'll go through them. Okay, question number 1. We have x squared plus 6x plus 8. Now we want two numbers that add to make 6 and multiply to make 8. That would be 2 and 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. And so the factors are x plus 2 times x plus 4. In question B, we have x squared plus 5x plus 6. We want two numbers that add to make 5 and multiply to make 6. That would be 2 and 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 times 3 is 6. So the factors are x plus 2 times x plus 3. In question C, we have x squared plus 6x plus 5. We want two numbers that add to make 6 and multiply to make 5. Well, that would be 1 and 5. 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. So the factors are x plus 1 times x plus 5. In question D, we have x squared minus 5x plus 6. Now we want two numbers that add to make minus 5 and multiply to make 6. Well, that would be minus 2 and minus 3. Minus 2 add minus 3 is minus 5. Minus 2 times minus 3 is plus 6. So the factors are x minus 2 times x minus 3. In question E, we're given x squared minus 7x minus 30. Now we want two numbers that add to make minus 7 and multiply to make minus 30. Well, if they multiply to make minus 30, one will be positive and one will be negative. And if they add to make minus 7, then the difference of them is 7. So the two numbers are going to be 3 and 10. Now in this case it's going to be minus 10 and plus 3. Minus 10 plus 3 is minus 7. Minus 10 times plus 3 is minus 30. So when we've factorized it, we've got x minus 10 times x plus 3. In question F, we want two numbers that add to make 9 and multiply to make minus 22. Now again, if they multiply to make minus 22, then one must be positive and one must be negative. Now 22 breaks up into 11 and 2, and from that we can get a 9. So the numbers will be plus 11 minus 2. Plus 11 add minus 2 is plus 9. Plus 11 times minus 2 is minus 22. So the factors are x plus 11 times x minus 2. Now in G we have x squared minus 17x plus 72. Now the two numbers add to make minus 17 and multiply to make plus 72. Because they multiply to make a plus number, they must both have the same sign. And because they add to make minus 17, they must then both be negative numbers. Well, the numbers are minus 8 and minus 9. Minus 8 plus minus 9 is minus 17, and minus 8 times minus 9 is equal to plus 72. So that means the factors are x minus 8 times x minus 9. Now in H we have x squared minus 9. This only has two terms. In fact, it has three terms like all the others, but they are x squared plus 0x minus 9. So we want two numbers that add to make 0 and multiply to make minus 9. Well, that will be minus 3 and plus 3. Minus 3 plus 3 makes 0. Minus 3 times plus 3 is minus 9. So the factors are x minus 3 times x plus 3. In question I, we have x squared minus 6x plus 9. We want two numbers that add to make minus 6 and multiply to make plus 9. Well, they will be minus 3 and minus 3. Minus 3 plus minus 3 is minus 6. Minus 3 times minus 3 is plus 9. So the factors are x minus 3 times x minus 3, or x minus 3 all squared. And the last one, we have x squared minus 6x minus 7. We want two numbers that add to make minus 6 and multiply to make minus 7. Well, that will be minus 7 and plus 1. So the factors are x minus 7 times x plus 1.